This is the Tech Support Guy Show, episode 67 for Sunday, March 24th, 2013. Google Glass. Welcome to the Tech Support Guy Show. I'm Mike Cermak, known on the site as Tech Guy. With me today is Dan McCarthy.
Good afternoon.
And Dan, and for those in the chat room, I'm going to leave you up on the stream so that that video gets recorded and then Stan can combine our videos for the recording. So the poor people in the chat room are going to have to look at you the whole time. You need to get a camera that records, is the meaning of that whole...
More about the story.
Yeah, story. So by the time we do our next show, which will be on...
April 28th.
Sunday, April 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Dan will have a camera that will be recording so that I can switch views on the stream. In the meantime, make sure you guys go to techguy.tv so that you can find out when the... Did I say May? Hobo says May. I meant April 28th. I may have misspoken. May have misspoken. But Sunday, April 28th. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern is when you're going to put that on your calendar. And to verify that date at any time after this recording, because I haven't updated it yet, is techguy.tv. If you go to techguy.tv, it'll always show you when the next show is going to be, except for right now during the show. So you can go there, mark your calendars, etc. And whenever you want to join the show, just do that. Go to techguy.tv. You can join in the chat room like Hobo and Ecom and a couple other guests who are nameless to point out whenever I make a mistake. Today, we are going to be speaking about Google Glass. Google Glass, for those who are not familiar with it, is a new device that is coming out from Google very soon. And it's supposed to be released by the end of this year publicly. Right now, they're already in the process of releasing it to a handful of what did they call them, Dan? Do you remember? Handful of people who got to... They sent in tweets and so on saying how they would use Google Glass, and they get the grand opportunity to be able to pay $1,500 and get a pair earlier. What a prize. What a prize. And so what it is, though, for those who don't know, is it's a pair of glasses. People usually call it glasses. It actually isn't. Are you there, Dan? Did I lose your audio?
I am.
All right.
I am here. And just to jump in and, be so 10 seconds ago, Glass Explorers.
Glass Explorers. There you go. Well done. That's what the people were called who had that great opportunity to pay $1,500 and get it early, which, don't get me wrong, I would have been willing to do, but didn't actually compete for. But they'd have said, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Dan, that the $1,500 is only for the early adopters for those Explorers. They said that the actual retail price will be less than that when it comes to market by the end of the year. I haven't heard an actual price.
How much less?
Yeah, we will see.
How much less? Because, I get upset when I have to pay $200 for my eyeglasses.
So what this doesn't actually have any lenses. People refer to it as the Google Glasses kind of inaccurately because there are no lenses. It wraps around your head and your ears similar to where a pair of glasses would. Hopefully we'll have a picture on the screen here. And it has a little prism up at the top right corner of your right eye that is the display of the device so that you can see what it wants to show you. So it's kind of wearable computers. We've been talking about that for many, many years. And this is going to be, I think, the first real retail possibility of that.
Yeah, when they first announced it, they announced it as augmented reality. So you can do, imagine your smartphone in a prism in front of your eye. That's pretty much what Google Glass is attempting to be.
And they give a lot of examples of what it can do.
Yeah, so you can record on their video, which you can go to their website, and google.com/glasses, I believe, and you can see a video where a snowboarder is recording their snowboarding exercise, and you can see from their perspective, a first-person perspective, what's going on in front of them. Taking pictures, getting navigation. So Google Glass, tell me how to get to somewhere that I want to go, and pop up directions.
Right, and it pops up, literally in that little prism at the top right of your vision. You see this. whatever it is you're asking it to do, or if you ask it for the definition of something or to translate something or whatever information you would usually be asking Google and looking down at your phone, or when you get a text message or an email or whatever, instead of looking down at your phone, it's right there in your vision.
So this is, obviously there's a camera in there, and if you take a look at, we'll be posting a link in there to Mashable. There's a picture of a bearded gentleman wearing the Google glasses, and in the right corner is a camera. I don't know what the specs of the camera are, but these have caused concerns for privacy. Basically, you can be recorded kind of unaware wherever you go.
Which is kind of the way it is already.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I read a statistic a long time ago that we're recorded, so many hours out of the day on average, especially if you live in a city with security cameras everywhere. But, certainly the concern here is that it's like someone holding a phone in front of their face recording you, except they don't have to hold the phone in front of their face to record you. It's on their glasses. So, but, I don't know. I suppose it could be done that way. Maybe they can put a flashing LED there when it's recording to make people feel better. But I don't see it as a huge problem.
Yeah, honestly, you're a little more, I guess, blatant when you have a camera phone and you're waving that out in front of you, so it's pretty clear that you're recording someone.
Right.
But there are all kinds of devices where if you really wanted to record someone unaware, you could do it right now with something, with anything hidden. And so glasses, you would know that if somebody's wearing Google Glass in front of you, that you could potentially be recorded.
I remember when cameras first started getting installed into cell phones, there was actually, I think there was even a law passed, or at least a lot of people did it, and required that the cell phone would make a noise whenever you took a picture, so that people were aware that you were taking pictures, as opposed to the old, cameras that just for this reason, exactly that, is that people weren't aware that they were having their picture taken, and some people using that very inappropriately. And now I don't think that's as big of a deal. People are used to that idea, and this is just another thing that whenever someone's wearing the glasses, potentially you could be being recorded, and I don't know if it'll ever be a big concern.
Well, so I'm going to jump to one of the next topics on Google Glass. There's a prescription model that's coming out, so I assume that they're actually going to incorporate prescription lenses into the device itself so that you don't have to wear both the Google Glass headband and your glasses.
Yeah, that surprised me. The Google Glass, as it's coming out, if I didn't mention during the recording, is developed to go over your existing glasses, whether you're wearing sunglasses or prescription glasses. There's no lens there. It really just kind of follows along the side of your glass and is displayed in front of your glasses. So I was surprised to hear that they're going to go so far as to actually sell prescription glasses.
Right. So with that being said, you mentioned that when camera phones first came out, that there was a concern there and the sound. But if you've ever gone to a courthouse for a speeding violation or anything like that, you'll know that most courthouses don't allow any kind of camera in there. So if you're incorporating prescription glasses with those...
You're going to be required to take your glasses off?
Right, exactly. You're going to be required to take your glasses off wherever you go.
Whenever you go into the strip club, they're going to make you take your glasses off?
Right. See, I don't think those... I should hush now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
Okay.
I said your hair looks nice.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, so that's interesting. We'll have to see how that goes. I don't see from a retail point of view why they would want to get into the market of making prescription glasses, but whatever. Go ahead.
So 3D, 3D is great, except I wear glasses, and I don't want to wear 3D glasses on top of my glasses.
This is different, though. This is not glasses over your glasses.
I don't, but it's something over my glasses. It is.
Well, and it still will be, though, whether you're buying the lenses from them or whether you're buying the lenses from someone else.
But there's a weight distribution as well, so...
What it really is whether you're going to have the frame of your glasses plus the frame of the Google Glass.
Exactly. So it's weight distribution. So presumably, if you're going to develop Google Glass to go with prescription eyeglasses, you're going to distribute the weight so that it feels even, and you're not really noticing that there's a computer growing out of your eye.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and they are very light. I was surprised. I didn't mention I got the opportunity to wear a pair when I was in California here a couple weeks ago. I was at a conference, the TED conference, and actually Google was up there talking about it, and during one of the sessions there was a Google engineer sitting in front of me in the audience who had his pair on him. So I had to ask him about it, and he told me about it, and I was asked him a lot of questions about it, and one thing, of course, I had to say, well, I've got to ask, can I just try him on for a minute? And he said, yeah, sure, and handed him to me, and then I took off running. And Google engineers I guess they have gyms in the Googleplex, because he was able to catch right up to me. But no, it was a nice pair of glasses, or nice Google Glass, not glasses is the proper term. And I was surprised when I put them on. The weight was not an issue. It felt very balanced. It felt very comfortable. But the prism in the corner, the top right corner of your vision, is not nearly as transparent as I expected it to be. From looking at some of the Google Glass, screenshots, for lack of a better word, it certainly doesn't look like that. It's not very transparent. It's up in the top right corner of your eye and noticeable even when there's nothing on the display. But and it certainly isn't in the center of your vision, as a lot of the screenshots would lead you to believe.
So does it block any of your periphery?
Well, I'm the wrong person to ask for that, because I don't have any peripheral vision due to the eye surgeries. But no, I don't think it really does, because it's up above your eye line, your normal sight line, and to the right a little, quite a bit. So, I mean, I guess if someone were coming at you from the sky from that angle, perhaps you wouldn't see them, but I don't see that as an issue. One thing that I did think was funny about it is, originally whenever you would get text messages or emails or whatever, it would immediately show that on the display, which they quickly realized was distracting and potentially dangerous. And so now it just makes a little noise. And in order to tell it, yes, go ahead and show that to me, you look up for a moment and just raise your head up for a moment and bring it back down, and then it shows on the display whatever the alert was. That's its. Or you can reach up and push a button on the side of it, but they're trying to make it hands-free, so they make that gesture instead.
So lawmakers in various states are looking to ban these while driving. So I think that would hurt the target market. Hobo in the chat room has asked, what is the real purpose? Where is it useful? So I think wearable navigation is actually kind of cool. Mike, think about it as you're flying. If you had your GPS system, right at your eye.
Yep.
Instead of having a 4-inch screen.
It's a true heads-up display. And not just,
right.
For anything, whether one of the previews was bicycling and it has directions up there for the cyclist and for whatever, if it's done well and not distracting enough, because a lot of cases where this is going to be used, I think, is where some other device would be used otherwise. For example, navigation. If it's not right in front of your vision, you're going to be looking down at something. Whether you're walking the street of New York and you don't know where you're going, you're going to be looking down at your phone for directions. Instead, it can just be in the corner of your vision. If you're walking the streets of New York and you get a text message, instead of looking down and getting hit by a cab, you can have it up in the corner of your vision. I think that in a lot of ways, people are making the argument, it's like a straw man argument, they're saying it's better not to be distracted, and I don't disagree with that, but I think this may be much less distracting than the alternative.
Sure. I'd agree with that. I think it could be. Now, it's whether or not they can pull it off. I'd have to see the interface to really sign up for the idea. I think it could be really distracting. I don't know that you would want to wear it all the time, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's a good question. And, certainly in its current state, it has very few real-life functions. I mean, you look at the list of voice commands that we know about, like record video, take a picture, you can Google things, you can ask Google questions, and it can often answer it for you. You can do, search for photos, do translations, give directions, send messages, receive messages, check weather, that sort of thing. But I think that the real way to look at this, though, is a foundation. I mean, once this device is released, just like the iPhone, it had only a handful of apps when it first came out, and now there are how many apps for the iPhone? And I think this will work the same way, that, this is a foundation. They get the device out here with the basic functions. I think the real power of this is going to be more noticeable or once you let third-party developers in there and start playing with it.
Sure, and there's a Linux.com article on potential home automation uses. Let's see. Let me pull that up here while you're.
Yeah, post the URL, and I'll include that in the show notes. And as a reminder to those listening on a recording, the show notes are put up at techguy.tv, so articles we discuss and so on will be up there. And the other, possible use for this, imagine, developers working on this for people with different disabilities, whether it's a vision disability or whatever kind of disability you have. This could potentially make a big difference in it. One thing that I also thought was interesting is it doesn't really have a speaker that plays sounds to you. It does the bone vibration thing to play sounds to you.
Yes. Which
I didn't have the opportunity to experience, but I understand it's a little unnerving the first time you feel hear it.
So did you get to experience that when you...
No, I didn't get to hear the sound, or I don't know if hear the sound is the proper feel the sound. I don't know what the proper verb is there. I didn't get to experience that part of it, unfortunately.
Let's see here.
It's true. Ecom in the chat room says could be good for posture. How many people would stop looking at their iPhones everywhere they go? And I think that's true, but I think that instead people are going to be getting carpal tunnel in their neck from flipping their head up in order to trigger the.
Yeah. I just posted the link in there. So there was a patent uncovered by Engadget for a Google Glass-like device that would communicate with general appliances that typically would use maybe RFID, IR, or GPS, or just general proximity. I suppose a garage door opener type thing, maybe turn the lights on for safety's sake. Mike, you've used home automation products in the past, yeah. So if you had an application that was written for Google Glass, or Android in general for that matter, that was able to communicate with your home system as soon as it hit your wireless network or something like that, then it could potentially turn on the lights in the entryway and start the espresso maker.
Well, and I think that's great for the average person. The other thing I want to drill home again is the fact that imagine if you're disabled and you have the ability to control home automation. How much more powerful that would be.
Yeah.
And even navigating by yourself through the streets, if you're, visually impaired or deaf or whatever, to have a device there that could replace that function a little bit, or at least to some extent.
That is a very good practical application. If Google Glass becomes your eye, if you're blind, and it does the good vibrations in your ear to tell you where to go.
And where you are, and
right.
I mean, and you don't have to have some other device you're holding up to your ear. It's on you. There's just a lot of potential there. That part gets me real excited. But even from your practical use day to day, I'm eager to get one. I think when it comes out, depending on how much it costs, $1,500 may be a bit much. I'm eager to get one and play with it and look like a nerd wearing it around. But I'm just not sure yet why I need. It's kind of the way I felt about the iPad when it first came out. I knew I needed one, but I didn't know why. I didn't know what the heck I was actually going to do with it that I wasn't already doing with my desktop computer, my laptop computer, and my phone. I didn't know why I needed another device, but I knew I needed it because Steve Jobs told me so.
Exactly. So I just want to put this out there that you knew you needed an iPad because Apple told you needed an iPad. With the Google Glass, they're not even really they're not marketing these. They're not really pimping them out just yet. They're
not. They gave it out to the top social media people to try and make a buzz for it. And who knows, whenever it's actually available. They're not doing advertising for it now because they don't even have a release date yet, just this year. So I think that we'll see it advertised more after the first wave of devices go out and they can try and get a hold on production and distribution. But who knows? And it's first generation. The next generation of it that's going to come out next year probably. I have no reason to believe that, by the way. I'm completely making that up. It will probably be much better and thinner and smaller and whatever. But it's just I think that it's definitely the way it's going. This first generation may not be very impressive compared to what we'll be seeing in the not too distant future. But I think wearable computing is awesome. I'm interested in it.
Wearable computing has been around for a while. I'm not sure how many of our viewers will remember the Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise is on a motorcycle and he's wearing a pair of Oakley glasses. The Oakley glasses actually had an MP3 player built into them that you could control using 3 little buttons on the side of the sunglasses. So, and then attached to I guess the brackets of the glasses, there were little earbuds that just flipped down and plugged into your ear, so that while you could drive distracted with music blaring in your ears. Wearable computing like that has existed for a little bit, but Google is taking it that next step farther.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this, see where it goes as it develops, and if Dan, are you going to buy one?
It really depends on the price, and I say that 'cause I have 4 kids who must go to college. So,
well, and the other concern is I wonder how child-friendly this device is.
So,
how many days it would survive in your household?
I doubt that it would survive long, because my youngest son likes to grab my glasses off my face and crush them in his fist. So,
yeah. Well, we will keep you guys updated. I probably will buy a pair whenever it comes out. We'll see how much they are and how difficult it is to get a hold of, and then we'll do another review at that point. And hopefully, we'll see more apps develop as the API becomes available and third-party developers start working on it. I think that's when the excitement will really come in. Anything else you want to add, Dan?
No, sir.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this up again. Go to techguy.tvs to get the show notes and subscribe to get future episodes. Our next one's going to be Sunday, April 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern, so join us then. Dan, you have anything you want to pimp out?
No, sir.
You got no awesome websites, no Twitter account. You don't do anything anymore, huh?
I'm really a boring father these days.
You're too busy doing programming for me.
Yes, I'm doing programming for you and raising my army.
Your minions.
Yes, my minions.
Well, soon they can program for you.
Exactly.
And then you can control them using your Google Glass. Well done, sir. Well done. All right. Have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you next time.